book launch every week. I had a client with a book launch every single week, and that is just
really I know you get really busy with stuff.
Summer is insane for books, right? Makes sense. But but I always love being here, so I don't.
We love having you. And Bez, we've missed you. It's been 8 years since we've seen you.
Well, it just I've been having stuff at this time slot, but sometimes I can make it, sometimes so. But I always like to attend if I can. Jim, Rachel, Barb, you are just amazing people. So love to sit here and learn and soak up all that knowledge.
It's a great group we have here. And just for anybody watching this to know, anybody that wants to come join us on screen, as long as you're a member of our school community, our AI Shortcuts School, I'll put it up on stage here, our AI Shortcuts School community, come be a part of this weekly chat. We just want it to be limited to our members of the group. So come join us on school. I got a shortcut link, bit.ly/Madalyn School. Or if you just go to school.com, you can search for AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter over there. We love for you to come hang out. It's just a great place to get lots of information about all the stuff going on in the AI world. I just try to keep people updated, and I love when you all or others in the community share stuff that they uncover. But lots been going on. Lots happening in AI.
Oh, for sure.
It's hard to keep up with it all. I do have a special guest coming later, my friend Christopher. He's usually in the live chat hanging out with us. He's going to come talk to us about the new ChatGPT finance feature where you can connect your financial institutions. I'll wait and share my thoughts when he gets here, because I've had lots of thoughts on it, and should I or should I not? And, this whole debate with myself. But when he gets here in a bit, we'll hear what he has to say, because he decided to do it. And I'll share my thoughts on that as well. But I think what we need to talk about is this Claude Fable 5. It's like they released it a while back, then they took it away. They also called it Mythos, and that was the one that they said just was a little too good. It's back now. What's just an initial thought? Like, this new powerful AI came out. Government says, nuh-uh, can't have this out right now. They put all those restrictions on. So Anthropic says, all right, we're just going to take it down. But now it's back with restrictions. Anybody have any thoughts on this?
I think it's always, to me, it's fascinating that we get like the newest and greatest version. And of course, right, there's that intrigue like, ooh, this must be so good because the government banned it, so I got to try it, when we don't even know how to use what we already had. So I think sometimes we're getting too caught up in the latest and greatest, right? The true, right? A lot of us techies, right? We always want to be out there ahead, when probably the majority of people would be fine on the previous version for what they're doing. So I think, and I know you're going to get into it more with what's going on with Magi. I won't give any of that stuff away, but I think that's how I look at it. Like, great. If Fable's here, if Fable's not there, it's not going to change what I'm doing at the moment, because I'm still trying to figure out how I want to use AI for my business. And if anything was interesting, my friend Chris Stone shared an article talking about AI content is getting less views than content that is not using AI. Like, there's been some studies. So there's a kind of a little bit of a pushback, if you want to call it. Maybe it's AI slot, but even if you think about it, and I won't go off the rails too much, I promise, Madalyn. The Yap challenge, if you think about it, is people being real and not using AI. And I'll stop there.
It's like there's always just this new and greatest AI constantly between, Claude, Anthropic with Claude, and OpenAI with ChatGPT. And then every once in a while, something new with Gemini, something new with Grok. It's just this constant. But the research I've done has said this Claude I mean, I don't understand why it has two names, Mythos 5 and Fable 5. Why don't they just pick one name? Because I think it's just a little confusing. But they're saying that this is like for the super users, for the developers, that this is super powerful. For most of us, everyday AI users, like, we don't need something this powerful. But a lot of people are jumping on it because they want to see what the fuss is all about. And so that I'll have links to all of this over on the YouTube channel later, because they've got like all this information about it and comparing it with the previous versions of Claude.
And I guess as I understand it, Madalyn, after so many days, what they're going to do is, if you are a Claude subscriber, but not at a certain level, that then you'll have to use tokens to access Fable, where before it was like most of the models were part of your subscription.
Right. It's confusing. It's confusing though. But when they started it last time recently, they kind of did something like that. They gave users access, but only for a short time frame. Then you'd have to go buy tokens. There's lots of videos out about this. I'm going to play because there's a whole bunch of influencers have been making videos about this. I'm going to play a short video because I only have the attention span for just something short, where, all right, just tell us exactly what's going on. What do we need to know? Because, we're all busy people. We don't want to sit around and watch a 10 or 20-minute video where, just give us the goods. So I'm going to play this one just so we can find out like what's happening here.
The most powerful AI model ever, Fable 5, is back, but will it be the same? Is this even important news? Yes, so let's look at the facts. So Fable 5 has just shown up in my Claude a few minutes ago. It's been re-released globally for everyone on a paid account. And the reason everyone's so excited is it's not just hype, it's significant news because the upgrade was so noticeable when Fable 5 landed 3 weeks ago. The capability of this model meant that people were finding it so much more able to understand what you wanted and get the job fully done, not nearly done, not half-baked. We're talking about entire web projects, big pieces of knowledge work like PowerPoints, reports, analysis, basically the stuff that no one really wants to do at work. And it felt like maybe this is AI finally delivering on some of its bigger promises. But 3 days later, the US government applied export controls to it, and because there's no real clean way of barring foreign nationals from using it, Anthropic had to just pull it for everyone. I can tell you that people in my circles said that they didn't even bother finishing projects they started with Fable 5 because they knew the other models weren't capable, and they'd rather just wait for Fable 5 to come back. It was that big a difference. And so it's back, and it will be included in your plan for up to 50% of your weekly usage limits until July 7th. After that, it will be available via usage credits, and you can manage those in the usage section of your settings, where you can buy credits or switch on auto reload. And Fable 5 will cost you $50 per million tokens of output. It's about 7 cents per 1,000 words that it writes. Now, obviously, it's not as simple as that because everything that it does uses tokens, but it gives you an idea. It will be interesting to see if this version is any different than what we got 3 weeks ago, or whether it's been quietly downgraded in any way. Hopefully not. Anthropic are implying that it is the same model, just with new, stronger protection against using it for cybersecurity purposes. But they do warn, because of how stringent that routing filter is, there will be some false positives, and you'll be downgraded to a lower model sometimes in error. We'll only really know over the next week or two as we push it to its limits and see what it's capable of. Follow me and I'll keep you updated.
So there you go. That's what's happening with this, just the short abbreviated version. Look, I'm happy with the new Claude Sonnet 5 that just came out. So for my needs, that one works just fine. And I think probably for 80 or 90% of users on Claude, that one's really what you should focus on, and what fits your needs. But this sure is grabbing headlines all over the place. So Eddie Garrison's here. Hey, Eddie. Used to be one of our regulars back in the Twitter Smarter chat days. He says, for me, the real debate is less about whether the government can regulate AI and more about what should be regulated, how much regulation is appropriate, and how those rules can remain effective as the technology continues to evolve.
Well said. Well said.
Very much so. Well, when this came out weeks ago, that concern was in the wrong hands, or it got delayed, I think, because when they were first talking about this Claude mythos, the concern was if it's in the wrong hands, it could be really catastrophic. There could be a lot of implications around the world. I mean, I heard things like it wouldn't take long to crack every code of every password of everything. Like nothing of ours would be protected anymore. And that's a bit scary.
Yeah, I was wondering, because that's what they were making a claim, that it was able to hack government systems with the new now mythos and like, I'm confused. What's the difference between both of them? Was one, they had two names and they brought back Fable but not Mythos, you know?
I think it's all the same. I think that I don't know, because sometimes I see the names together. They initially were calling it Mythos, but then when it came out 3 weeks ago, it was Claude Fable 5. But sometimes they still say Mythos. I think it's all the same. I don't think they're separate things, to my understanding. You know, I could be wrong. But like I said, I think for most of us, we don't even have a need for it. It's really powerful, and it's the kind of thing that people say you have it running for hours or days, you know, building things. But that's what's attracting all the headlines right now. But then things turn when Dustin from Magi did a post last night that grabbed my attention. And one of the things I love about Magi, my favorite all-in-one AI tool, I'm even wearing my Magi shirt today, my Magi, because I'm just a fan. I've been using this tool since it came out 3 years ago. In addition to my, you know, I have two accounts. I have my OpenAI ChatGPT Plus account for $20 a month. I like it because of the native features I have on there that aren't the same in an all-in-one tool. But I've always loved Magi. It's a great all-in-one tool because I have access to everything in there. So I like using that when I'm not using it. It's ChatGPT. So I'll use Claude, I'll use Nano Banana, Perplexity, Grok, and then some of the different image generators. And I want to play more with like Kling and some of those video ones. But anyway, this comes out yesterday. And normally, whenever there's a new chat model, Dustin will get it onto the platform very quickly. And I was really thrilled when Claude Sonnet 5 got added very, very quickly. We'll talk about that a little later, because I'm really liking the Claude Sonnet 5 a lot. So he says, we're not adding Claude Fable 5 to Magi. And he actually wrote a whole long blog post about it, but it's not that it's not impressive. It would require them to agree to Anthropic's data retention policy on behalf of all the users. And part of this policy is that the prompts are retained for 30 days. And that, you know, if there's any issues, then they'll have a human review it at Anthropic. And so this goes against the way Magi is set up, so that everything is private. One of the things I've always loved about Magi is there's no training on the data. The best way to kind of view this is you got Magi, and let's say, okay, I want to use ChatGPT inside of Magi. It's still going to ChatGPT, but it's coming back over to the Magi servers. So whatever's interacting on the Magi servers is not being trained on your data. Now, when I'm using OpenAI, using ChatGPT in OpenAI natively, I make sure the box is unchecked to be, you know, utilizing my data. And I always advise everyone to go check on any of these AI platforms you use, go into your settings and go and make sure it's not training on your data, unless you're comfortable with that. You know, some people may be comfortable, that's fine. I'm not. But one of the things I've always loved about Magi from day one is that Dustin will not allow any of these tools to do that. inside of Magi. And back when his company was smaller and he wasn't nearly as busy as he is now, he used to come on this chat all the time and chat with us. And one time I had him on and we had this awesome discussion of him talking about the importance of privacy that with the users. So I really respect his position on this with the new Claude Fable 5, that is, to him, this goes against their policy, because then they would have to, for this one platform, let Anthropic have this access.
I like that he did that. I mean, it's a really ethical decision on his part. So I love that he was open about that. I just wanted to add really quickly, I was talking to a client the other day, and he uses ChatGPT for his business and for admin stuff, not for his writing. And so one of the things that I suggested that he do is pull his favorite quotes out of the book that we can use, for social media posts. And he's like, oh, I'm just so busy. I don't know if, and I do it anyway, but I like the client to do it because then I know it resonates with them, right? And I said, well, you could put it in chat. I said, just make sure that, your prompt is very specific, but make sure that your settings are set to private. And he's like, what is that? And this is a smart guy with a PhD. So I think people just don't know that they can go into those settings and say, no, I don't want you to learn off of my stuff, So I think it's an important thing to just reiterate with a lot of people, anyone watching here, if you're not super into AI, you don't know you can go into all those settings. So I just wanted to add that.
Right. Exactly. I'm going to link to this article on my YouTube channel here a little later today. So it's a long article. He goes into great detail. He even has an idea for a middle ground where if enough users are interested over at Magi, that he would come up with a way where they would have to, if they're going to use it, that they would have to agree that the Fable 5 would allow Anthropic to have that access that's required. But I mean, this is a long article that really, with him detailing all of this, and I really respect it. I appreciate it. I replied to him on Facebook when he posted it last night and said, and everybody else that jumped in the conversation said that we all agreed. We all feel like it was the right move with this. Now, if you want to use that Fable 5, you can use it natively inside of Anthropic. But if you're using Magi, as of right now, it's not in there. But again, in the article, when you read it, he talks about how a workaround, if there's enough interest, he could work it where you got to give consent. Like you approve that, okay, Anthropic will have access for 30 days just when you're using it. But the thing is that he really says well in his article is that privacy matters more than hype here. Everybody's all about the hype. Everybody wants to use this latest and greatest thing, and without even reading the fine print and understanding, well, what are you giving up? And is it even necessary to have such a bigger, more powerful model in your hands? Because when most of us are just doing our day-to-day AI task, we don't need a reasoning model like that. It's just that, first of all, it's going to have more usage behind it. Is it even necessary? I know sometimes Dustin, when he talks about things like this, he'll kind of equate it to well, if you're going to just go down the street to the grocery store, do you go take your Ferrari or your Ford truck? And he always uses examples like that and it's a great visual to yeah, well, that makes sense. It's not always necessary. And also just even knowing the right model to use, depending on what your project is, what specific job are you doing in the chat? And that can make a huge difference as to, well, which model, for instance, we're not going to have time today, but Magi has this awesome new built-in features called scheduled tasks. And he's been talking about it, so I've been playing with it. He finally made a little how-to video on YouTube. And I'm like, this is really cool. So I've been playing with it. Well, in playing with it is using up a lot of the tokens, right? I'm like going through, I'm using my monthly allowed usage. I'm thinking, I think I'm going to have to bump it up to a more expensive plan. But then one of the things Dustin said is that, oh, when I'm doing this for some of these things, I'm having it go do. You can use the lowest of, like I changed it from Claude. I did add the Claude Sonnet 5, which is the new one, down to the really low one. What is that? Claude is it Claude Haiku? Is it the Haiku one? What's their really low one that doesn't need a lot of power? I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, I'm like, oh, the multiplier is way less, which means I can get more mileage out of this. So it's really just trying to understand what you're using and how these models work. So it's not always you have to be chasing that new model. It's just understanding how these tools work and making, better decisions around what you're using and how you're using it. So, it's interesting. I see my friend Christopher made it here. Hey, Christopher.
Hello, how you doing today? How's everything going?
Good to have you as our guest. You're one of the regulars that's always watching live and hanging out in the live chat.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
trying to learn.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. Just trying to all learn from each other. But y'all, this is my friend Christopher. I've known for several years in the kratom industry. Great guy, and we're always chatting. And this whole ChatGPT finance thing. I don't know. Did anybody have anything else to say about the whole Fable 5 thing? I mean, I think we're all still learning, so I think we're ready to switch gears now. But this ChatGPT finance feature, for those that don't know, you can now connect. Well, you got to be on a Plus account. So if you're doing the $20 a month ChatGPT Plus, you can connect your financial institutions, and then have ChatGPT do a lot more for you because it has all that data. I was at first a hard no. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I posted about it, and I was like, curious who's interested in doing this. And Christopher, you told me, you're like, I'm going to be doing this.
I'll give it a shot.
I'm like, well, we got to have you on because I want to hear all about it. I had tweeted it the other day, and I was just more like curious who is interested in doing this. I really just want to know, like, who's on board with this, who's not. I'm at the moment when I did that tweet, I'm trying to find that tweet. I was a hard no when I first tweeted this. I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. It sounds interesting because it popped up. Well, here's the tweet. Let me show you all the tweet real quick. It had popped up in my feed. No, it popped up in my ChatGPT. So I took a screenshot. That's what this is right here. So this was, oops, hold on. Click the wrong thing. So June 27th. So that was last week. This pops up. So I said that, not sure if I'm ready for this. What are your thoughts connecting your finance accounts, syncing them up? And so, Christopher's like, I'm going to do this. So Christopher, tell us what you did and what you think about this.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting because obviously I've used, Excel and some other stuff for doing budgeting over the years. And with our industry, it's just insane. It's like an EKG. You never know what's going to happen from 1 month, 1 week, 1 day for the next. So I said, I wonder if I could run this through and see if there's anything I could do for budgeting or see where I'm overspending or, just cut back on little things. And my first thing was when it made the connection, it connected with Plaid. So I'm very familiar with Plaid as far as security and them connecting your banking together and information. Once I saw Plaid was involved, I was like, okay, this is pretty secure. Because I've used Plaid over the years, I've never had an issue. You have a better chance in somebody hacking your bank than you do Plaid, from what I've read into it, what I understand from security. So, I've just fooled around with it a little bit. I told Madalyn we've been dealing with a lot of stuff with our animals at home and everything lately, so it's been a nightmare. But getting in and just putting in the basics, just connecting it. When I just said connect my financial accounts, it connected. It has my 2 accounts. Also, my business line of credit has everything in here. So I can go in and be like, how much are we paying in credit card bills each month for the business? and it's going to scan through and look and see how much I'm spending on credit card bills and how much we're spending in certain areas. And really simple compared to when you're doing a budget. Like I could just ask a question and it's giving me answers instead of sitting there going through spreadsheets.
That's really that's cool. That's cool. That because so when you had said, when you text me and said it's using Plaid, that was like, okay, that's legit.
Yeah,
I trust Plaid. But then so it really took me having to know somebody I know who decided to do it, finding out that it's using, you know, a legit way of connecting, which is Plaid. And then it made me start thinking about, well, so much of our stuff is out there everywhere. And a lot of it gets compromised. I mean, how often now do we hear about, oh, your data's been breached? And many times when you're notified, it happened like 6 months ago or a year ago, like it's so long ago. I just always feel like we're at a place now where our stuff is in the hands of people that are not always responsible. You don't know what's really happening with it. So do I just keep pretending that doesn't happen, or do I take advantage of this new feature that can help me stay more connected to my finances and do better?
Yeah.
So I decided to connect it. I surprised myself. But you really helped me, Christopher, when you were like acknowledging, like, okay, it uses Plaid. That's legit. Yeah. And, you know, and just knowing, like, I was really weighing those pros and cons. And I'm not at all telling anybody or trying to sway anybody what to do. It wasn't an easy decision, but I just told myself, what do I really have to lose? I think I have more to gain just in the knowledge I'll get from using this. So I just turned it on this morning. So it was still trying to collect stuff. So I hadn't really had a chance to play with it.
It takes a minute to collect data.
That's what it was telling me. But so from what I understand is you've got to be on the pro. Right now is for pro users. So if you're paying the $20 a month ChatGPT plan, you probably would have seen that pop up. You can also access it through the sidebar. And there's let me play this. There's a tweet with a video I'll play real quick so everybody can see more about it. But it says you can securely connect financial accounts, see where the money's going, and ask questions based on the information. Because think about this. Before this, what did we do? I would go to my bank and I would download some PDFs, or I would go, like, it would tell you to go collect some data and then feed it into your AI, right? So this bypasses that part. So let me play this video.
That's crazy.
I think that's pretty cool. Some of the stuff it gave as an example of what it could do. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I'm definitely curious what others are thinking. But yeah, using Plaid to bridge it, I think was, that was a good that helped me tremendously. When you told me that, I'm like, okay, that's something I would be on board with that.
So we have the banks connected. I don't even have credit cards. I have nothing else but the bank accounts and the line of credit. That's it. So I can continue that out. I'm going to research it more, and I can add almost everything I can possibly think of. Then it'll really give you a full picture of what's going on. So I'm in the baby stages of it right now, but it's really interesting what I'm being able to do and see, and it's great. Oh yeah, ChatGPT does hallucinate. Correct.
Yeah, it
So
absolutely does. So I still, take some of this with a grain of salt. Well, one of the things that I'm eager to use it for is to help me find subscriptions that sometimes when you have, like I've got monthly, but I also have a lot of, more of them are annual or quarterly. And sometimes you forget about them. And I know companies are better about notifying you ahead of time to remind you, but you don't always get the reminder. And I'd rather be much more on top of it. And I think it'd be helpful with that. I think it can be helpful with a lot of things. And if I don't like it, I will disconnect it. And if you're going to disconnect something, always be sure you go into your settings and just make sure it all did it properly. Like, don't just tell the AI to go do it. Like, make sure it actually gets done, especially if it is hallucinating. So Jason says, if ChatGPT can do my taxes, that would be great. Exactly. That would be awesome. That would be great. I don't think it's going to do that, but it's interesting for sure. So you've just have played with it just a little bit, not a whole lot yet.
Yeah, just a little bit, just the basics. But over the next few weeks, I'm going to connect more accounts and really dive into it a little deeper to see what I can figure out and where it'll be helpful. I'm sure it'll be helpful in all aspects of personal and business, but there's got to be stuff. We use the AI to save us time. So there's got to be a way for it to even save me more time and get more stuff done. That's my goal.
Exactly. And there is a page on the ChatGPT site that has a link to this as well, but it has, more information about all of this. It walks you through how to set it up, which helped me because that was how I was able to just go through this but also like just shows you screenshots of like what all it can do. And it is quite interesting. And how and this was good here. It kind of gave an example with having it connected versus not having it connected. So like when you're not connected, it says here, help me come up with a plan to save a little bit more. And, when you actually have it connected, it's looking at your stuff. Before you just tell it and it's going to tell you like, well, here's some info, but then it's going to need more information from you.
I have a question. Somebody just asked me if you could, since you have this on the screen, where do you find it in settings? How do you find finance to turn it on?
Well, so you got to have the Plus account. So you got to be on
Right.
the $20 a month plan.
Right.
And it is on, let me see, where was it at? So when you're in a chat, let me see if I can put this up on my screen.
Is it under apps maybe?
I see it when you hit the plus because I see, although I turned it on, so maybe that's why it's in there.
I saw the pop-up come up and I was like, no. Of course, now I'm rethinking it. So I'm going to research it a little bit more. But if somebody wanted to add it, is it just called finances?
Yeah, it started off as a pop-up for me, but now that I've added it, it's not showing me how. I'm pretty sure I saw it on the left sidebar somewhere. But see, now that I've added it, it's actually in the plus. So let me.
It's under more.
Oh, it's under more?
Yeah, I just did the same thing. I'm like, where the hell did it go? Yeah, it's under more.
Yeah, it's not there for me. So interesting.
No. I see it.
Before I turned it on, that's exactly where it was. So when you're on the left sidebar, you click on more and then it's there. Finance.
It's there. Thank you.
Well, now that I've added it, if I go do a chat, before I type anything in, I click the plus sign and it's in there now because it shows you all the things you've added. Like I've got Canva, finances, Gamma, so it's all already. So I guess that's how you know when it's been connected. So, hey, Cindy, good to see you, Cindy Lou.
I love that name, Cindy Lou.
I do too.
Cindy Lou who?
But I mean, it's interesting. I know it's not for everyone. I think it's something like you got to give a lot of thought to before diving in because, it's kind of a big deal.
Well, their privacy concerns are legitimate, right?
Yes.
Like you say, like people get hacked all the time. I get something that says, this password was whatever the word is that they say, compromised, blah, blah, blah. So that I think is a legitimate concern. But again, Plaid makes it feel safer.
I would use the example years ago. We had somebody take our routing and account number, found our accounting and routing account number. I'm in Jersey, went and paid their utilities in California. And that was like in 2018. So all they need, how much data do people really need? They went and just had a simple, what you can get on any check. So people can do it no matter what. So that's what I always keep in mind. It doesn't really.
It's such a false sense of security. Like if people
is.
really want to find stuff, they'll find it. Yeah.
100%.
That's how that's how I feel about it now. So, yeah. So, Chris, with you being a small business owner, I mean, what are you hoping to get out of having this connected?
I'm hoping to save money in different areas, and obviously be able to be more productive and more efficient, trying to cut back in areas. I always do all the time. We cut back in areas we don't need, and I'll go through my banking accounts, and I'll go through my statements, and I'll go through my budgets. But with this, I can say, hey, figure out a prompt that what areas am I overspending in? What areas are, causing an issue for my business? Where could we save money? Like anything like that. That's really where I want to have it plugged into, to see where I can fine tune, save as much as possible, and then reinvest back in the business to do is, make it as effective as possible.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Cindy Lou. Well, yeah, I think, as small business owners, that's like, how can this help save money and just make me smarter with my finances?
Correct. Because I was always told you can save more, you can make more money by saving money than you can by making money. I don't know who told me that, but I just always remember that.
And if it's not working out, or I just feel like I have no use for it, I will deactivate it and just turn it off. But I was very nervous at first.
I still am.
Once you turned yours on, I'm like, well, let me take another look at this. Maybe I need to look at it from a different point of view and just see. I mean, it's just an individual thing. It's what you're comfortable doing.
Holly doesn't like any of that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I would personally love to have you guys come back in a couple weeks and let us know what your thoughts are.
Absolutely.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I will definitely, because like I've been thinking about it a bit, and I'm like, I'm just going to do it. And I tried last night, and I was having difficulty with getting it to connect. But also, there's like no how-to videos out right now. So I mean, I looked at
It's new.
It's new. It's very new, and it's only for the pro users. So they're just trying it first on a small group, and I followed the instructions on the website, but it just wasn't. It's like I need a how-to video. I'm more visual anyway, and something just wasn't. I mean, it could have just kind of glitched out. But I was trying again this morning, and it worked much better. I was able to finally get it connected. But it's like I gotta go collect the data, so check back later. And I'm like, oh shoot, I wanted to be able to have some info to share today. But I'm eager to play around with it and see what it does. Jason says, I think banks are using AI now because after we book a trip to Nova Scotia, our bank was like, whoa there, buddy, you're spending some money this month. Are you okay with that?
That's funny.
I think AI is used in everything now. It is like big business is using it. It's
what's impressive to me is medical using the AI. That's very impressive to me to, be able to
get all kinds. Yes.
It's great.
I love that. Yeah. Like whenever nowadays, when I go get labs done, I just feed the PDF into ChatGPT and have it explain. Because what I used to do is, you look up some of these things, you go and Google, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And because the doctors tell you stuff, but like, they're so limited with their time and how much they tell you. I want a comprehensive, knowledge base of this stuff. And whoa, it's amazing to just get all this data. But again, you always have to take it with a grain of salt because you don't know if ChatGPT is hallucinating the information. But many times what I'll do, especially something important like that, I'll take the info and then go verify it with other sources. But also this is where like Magi would come into play, because since you get all the different models, Perplexity is a really good one for research. You could start in one and move to another, so you can be working through different ones. Actually, I think I'm going to try that sometime with just specifically for medical stuff, just to see, because that idea just popped in my head. It's like, I don't think I did that before. I normally just pop it into my native ChatGPT, but I'm actually going to experiment with it. It's actually a good idea. I'm going to jot that down. I'm going to take like my last labs PDF. I'm going to go in Magi, and I think I'll just do I think I'll start with ChatGPT, and I'll just keep that PDF going with the different ones and just try. I don't know. What do you think? That sounds like a cool experiment.
I'm particularly interested in that because, that was my whole reasoning. Just yesterday, I was reminded that I've been cancer-free for 15 years now.
Congrats.
But the whole reason, they gave me a doomsday. When they opened me up and it came back and he said, call your husband, all of this, and you may have a week, you may have a month. And I said, what? You haven't even cut into me yet. You're saying all these things. This is literally at the hospital. And I said, get me my computer. Have you got internet access? And so I started Googling it, of all things. And I said, I'm not going to accept this. Look what this doctor's doing. Look. And it's like these guys just, let me look at that. And I'm saying, I'm not ready to die yet. You guys get your shit together because I'm not going to be leaving anytime soon.
That's why they call it a practice.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so what reminded me yesterday is because the guy actually went on Oprah to talk about what they did. He did another lady and myself. And so and then I had a contract with the Oprah show way back then for Eckhart Tolle and all that stuff. And I said, okay, I don't care if my body's, if I'm dying, I'm an experiment.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it opened minds so far just by saying, no, I'm taking responsibility. I'm going to add to that too. And yesterday I was reminded that he wanted pictures of me in a swimsuit for his doctor presentation about this miracle performance that they all did. And I had never modeled in a swimsuit in my life. And they had split me clean in half to be able to accomplish this task. Took and put mesh in my front to hold me together. It was. I don't want to say that it was a true miracle on what they pulled off. But they all said afterwards, they said, we wouldn't have been able to do it if it had been a patient with a different attitude. And that was it, because I wasn't giving up. Yep. And so the first thing when ChatGPT when that came on, I thought, this would be great for the practice of medicine, because of how far who it was connecting, what they were digging into and everything. And so I too, like you, Madalyn, are just, the biggest thing has got to be what it can do medically. But in mentioning that one thing, don't leave out the human factor, because if I hadn't been the human behind it and said, give me my computer, I wanted to research that, they would have, written me off.
Right. It's really helpful with just empowering yourself with knowledge.
Exactly.
So that you can make more informed decisions, where you can be part of these conversations by just knowing more. When it comes to medical stuff, I just always feel like we're just so, in the dark with so much of this stuff, right? And I feel like with AI, we can get so much knowledge and information so that we can be more prepared when we go to a doctor's visit for something, or at least understand things more, because we're so limited with the amount of time we get with them.
That's
if
important.
I can just share. I'm sorry, Barb, go ahead.
It's okay, but just what you said there is so important, because if you go in, it was just like, remember when we were talking about Darth and fixing Darth, my computer, and we were sitting and I had a picture of Darth and it looked like he was falling apart. And I took it to ChatGPT while we were all talking, and it gave me a complete rundown of what needed to be done, parts were needed and everything. And Darth is still with me. I'm working with Darth today. And so
I take pictures all the time and will show it to ChatGPT and say, ask it questions about whatever it is. Or better yet, I do the live video. If you're on a Plus account, a Plus or higher, so on your phone, when you go into the voice mode, right? There's a button you can press where you can turn on your camera and it can see whatever you're looking, whatever you want to show it, either front facing or back facing. And I'll just show it. So instead of just taking a picture, I'll just show how, like, read the label of like some new supplement I'm trying. And I'll just have a look at it and explain some of this stuff. And it's so interesting. It's so interesting. I'll ask it a bunch of questions. It's like, I'm to the point now where I'm not even like taking a picture. Like, let me just show you real quick. Here it is live. Let me show you. Go ahead, Christopher.
I was just going to say, it's just so amazing. I mean, just think about in the next couple of years how much it'll help surgeons and doctors with diagnosis and trying to figure out, you have a patient's medical history and something happens. You can type in what's going on and they can be like, whoop, look at all the medical history and kind of help you diagnose what's wrong. I mean, that's just amazing stuff to me.
It really is. It's just interesting how much, like, I know there's different ways of looking at AI, and I know a lot of people look at the negative, and there are some negative things about it. I look at the positive. How can this help me in life and in business? And I use it for that, right? And I'm not focusing so much on the negative things that come along with it. There's a lot of negative things about everything in the world.
I just wanted to share when I went into the podiatrist to get my bone, review, like put the cast on and everything, or not the cast, the boot, sorry. They said, so, what have you been doing this last week? Because I went to urgent care first. Christopher broke my foot. And so they said, take Tylenol every 4 to 6 hours, take Aleve or Advil, ice, and you can even try turmeric because it's been known to have anti-inflammatory properties. I'm like, great. Okay. So then I bring it to Chat, and Chat said, this was at urgent care. Sorry. They said to take all that. Then I get to Chat and Chat says, yes, you're doing all the right things. Then I go to my podiatrist and they said, you should not be taking anti-inflammatories because that can inhibit bone growth. So I was like, huh. So they said, no more anti-inflammatories, which seems really weird. Like we get hurt, we take an anti-inflammatory, right? I used to sell these as a pharma rep, it's prescription versions. So there's a lot of background. So my immediate thought was like, wait, what? Like Chat even said, you're doing the right things. And I followed what the urgent care told me. So anyway, when I came back, I put into Chat and said, they told me not to take turmeric and Aleve or Advil or whatever. And then they were like, oh yeah, that's right. New studies have come out that have shown blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why didn't you just say that in the first place?
Right. Yeah.
So grain of salt.
Oh, always for sure. Yeah. And so as we're running out of time here, one of the things I want to mention really quick, I kind of touched on it earlier. So there's the new Claude Sonnet 5, which I really love, and Magi, they added it immediately on there, and I noticed it, within hours it was on there. So I tweeted about this the other day, and I'm really liking it a lot. And I want to show you really quick, because one of the things I love about Magi is, this being this all-in-one tool. Pop this up on the screen here. So when I'm using this, and I can choose, like, you get all these options of different models, right, inside the one place. So the new Claude Sonnet 5, brand new, they're putting all the new ones at the top of the screen now. The usage, this is how you really keep track of how much are you using it. So you can stretch what you get out of a month for your payment. And so what's interesting, what I was previously using, the best one was the Sonnet 4.6 for what I'm doing. And the multiplier was a 1.2%, but here's the brand new one is a 0.8. So the usage is lower with this newer model. But as I said earlier, I'm trying this new Magi scheduled task feature, and I was burning through this usage very quickly, but I was trying a whole bunch of different ones, different tasks. and it was collecting a lot of data. And Dustin had from Magi mentioned, oh, for some of these, if it's lightweight info, just use the Claude Haiku. So the Claude Haiku is only a 0.8 multiplier, which means it'll go twice as far than the 0.8 with the Claude Sonnet 5. So I just switched that on this one task I'm running, because the task is literally like, just go grab some like 3 business motivational quotes each day for me, because I love motivational quotes, and then I want to sometimes post them on my social media too. And it's like, and I started thinking, well, I could just use like the lowest model for something like that, and then now I can do more because of that. It'll last longer, with the usage. So it's getting knowledge in what you're doing and understanding how all this stuff works, I think, is the key. And we're not going to have time today, but this new scheduled task feature in Magi is super cool. I've been playing with it a whole lot, and there's a lot to learn with it. I think what I'm going to do, has anybody here played with this yet? It's really cool. And what was so interesting, Dustin had done this post the other day about it. He says, this is what was so appealing to me. His tweet says, I haven't opened my inbox in a week. Email used to own me. 5 checks a day, mostly garbage. So I built an AI email assistant inside Magi with scheduled tasks. Twice a day, it runs on its own, archives the junk, surfaces the humans, sends me a Slack brief. When I want to reply, I just talk. It writes and sends. I never open Gmail. Your inbox isn't work. It's the illusion of work. Stop living in your inbox. Start living. And he made a how-to video. So I watched it. And so I've been playing with it ever since. And it's really cool that you can now like come up with these scheduled tasks and connect things. So I connected my Gmail so that it could go and collect it. But again, I was doing multiple tasks of this, like running it multiple times a day and stuff. And so it was kind of going through my usage very quickly. So I've kind of scaled it back a bit. But I just was really just wanting to play with it to see what all could I do and just to be more productive. Because that's the bottom line. I'm just trying to be more productive. Larry says, I could have haiku, create a haiku. I thought about that, Larry. It's so funny. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is over in our private school community, I was thinking about putting a video over there on how this new Magi scheduled task works, because it's really neat. And it's like unlimited what you can connect to it and have it automate for you.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to go through that. I'm afraid. Well, ChatGPT offered to connect to my Gmail, and I thought, oh God, no. But I would like to have, and then of course Google Gemini said, oh, I want to connect to your email. No, I just don't want to go there and connect everything yet. I don't trust. I know it's awful, but I don't trust governments either. And I just feel that until everything, comes together better, I'd rather hang in there for a while.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Larry says he's using the Claude Cowork, and that's really popular for scheduled tasks as well. You have the Claude Cowork, ChatGPT. I have a lot of ChatGPT tasks. I love doing things over there. But I'm really excited with Magi, because with Magi, I have more flexibility, because I could use Claude. I could use one of the other models. It doesn't have to be limited to just ChatGPT. So that's why, for me, the best of both worlds is that I have my $20 a month ChatGPT plan and I have my $20 a month Magi plan. Although I'm seriously thinking about bumping up the Magi to the $40 a month plan so I can get more usage, because I want to do more tasks, scheduled tasks in there. And it does use up, the usage goes a lot quicker. But I'll definitely be doing some training on this over in our school community. So come hang out with us over there. I think I'm just gonna probably just do some impromptu live streams in there, and just when I'm taking the time to go walk through it and just record it so people can see. But the beauty is the replay will be there. So it's not so much, oh, you got to be there when I'm live. It's just, I'm trying to do two things at once. I want to just go like before a live stream capability, what will we do? We record a video and then we go edit it and then we go post it somewhere. And I don't want to do a bunch of editing. So I'd rather do it live, because when we're live, nobody cares about editing. It's not a requirement. But there's a replay of it. So I see it as a 2-in-1. So that's my thought. I mean, is anybody here interested in wanting to learn how to use the Magi schedule task feature? Christopher, do you still have Magi?
Yes, I do. I just noticed the schedule feature, and I'm like, oh, what's
it's
this?
new. It's very new. It's very new.
Yeah, but create your first schedule prompt.
Yeah, but you can go through usage really quick. That's what I've noticed with my playing with it. So what you want to do is when you start playing with it, just keep an eye on your usage, which is so easy to grab because they have it on the sidebar where you can always look to see where you're at for the month. Like when I at the bottom left, when you click on your little the little person icon pops up, it'll show you where you're at in monthly usage. And like right now, I've got 17 days left. I've already used 73% because I was doing all those. I was watching the numbers go up really quick each day because I was going to town with these different tasks.
Well, I'm going to be using it over the next few days because I have 2 days left and my usage is under 1%.
There you go. Go run.
So we're going to beat the hell out of it the next couple days.
Go to town with it. So Dustin made a how-to video. It's on the Magi YouTube. And he has a video. I didn't have time to play any of that today, but he has a video he made that came out this week where he walks you through how to use it. So I followed that to set it up. And it's really easy to do. It's just helpful when you see the how-to. So it's a cool feature. It's cool. But even though I'm utilizing it the usage pretty quickly, it does make me realize, well, I mean, what's the big deal just bumping it up from the $20 a month plan to the $40 a month? Because then I think you get 3 times the usage. I'd rather be more to me, I look at it as, well, isn't this productivity and the time I save worth an extra $20 a month? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
To me, I'm like, I think it's worth me paying just $20 more a month to get more of my time back. That's how I'm looking at it. But
and that's what we're all trying to do: save time, have a little more time for ourselves, and
Exactly. So those are the things I wanted to share with you all today. One little side note, it didn't really worth going into a big discussion, but if anybody's still using Nano Banana 2, they now have a light version of it. They just released a Nano Banana 2 Lite. The thing is, ChatGPT Images 2.0, to me, personally, totally surpasses Nano Banana 2. So I used to use Nano Banana a lot because it was so much better than ChatGPT Images. But ever since ChatGPT Images improved earlier this year, and then more recently with the 2.0, to me, it's like night and day. I think it's way better. So I don't even bother with Nano Banana anymore. But I thought it was interesting that they have a light version now. I'm not sure I understand. What they mean by light is that it's faster. They're saying Nano Banana 2 Lite delivers text to image outputs in 4 seconds. Like, whoa. So I guess that's what they're going for now is speed. They're probably figuring, all right, ChatGPT has got really great images. The output's really great now, but maybe they're thinking, well, let's go for speed. So just want to make sure everybody was aware. Christopher, I'm so glad you joined us today to share your thoughts on ChatGPT finances. I'll definitely be reporting back if you want to come back on sometime and report back to us.
Definitely. If you're going to be doing that in a couple of weeks, to let me know. I'll hop on and be like, hey, what did you learn? What did I learn? And
absolutely. And then see if anybody else decided to jump on the wagon and do this with us too and see what they think. So Larry, I think you're right. I think the light's less thinking maybe. So
I think using Plaid, you're fine. Honestly, that's my gut feeling.
I feel the same. Yeah, I agree. When you said that to me, I'm like, okay, that's one less issue that I would be worried about. Like, how is it all being connected? And I like Plaid. I've used Plaid many times. So that was that first stepping stone to like, let me rethink all this. So thanks for letting me know about that. But I'll definitely be reporting back. Love to hear from you on that. And yeah, we'll keep this going. Who knows next week what else we're gonna have to talk about? Always something. Always.
Yep.
And Jim, there was something new with Substack. What was it? The video stuff. There was something new you had made a video about.
Oh yeah, so a couple of things in the back end. You can do a slider that your live stream will be available for 24 hours for people that didn't get to watch it when it went live, even if you haven't published it. And you can also upgrade the resolution of the video itself. So they've got a beta for higher resolution video as well.
That's cool. It's always interesting, all these new features, and you're always making these little videos talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow Jim on Substack, so I'll be checking out your stuff on that.
Yeah, and I did an updated video on how you can use StreamYard to go live on Substack. And Mitch Jackson, who just launched a new show on politics, used it to interview Ty Cobb right after the Supreme Court announcement the other day on birthright citizenship. So that went really well for him. So he was really happy because not only is he got the recording in StreamYard if he wants it, but that recording is also now uploading in the back end of Substack when you're done. So you don't even have to download it from StreamYard.
That's very cool. Is it easy? Do you still have to get that the code thing or whatever to connect to the StreamYard? Is it still?
Yeah, but it really isn't. It's really not that hard. Like what I showed too is literally when you set up your destination in StreamYard, that stream key the stream URL never changes. So you just have to update the stream key. But when you hit the live here, it pushes it to Substack. So you don't have to like go into the Substack and say, oh, I'm now live. It picks it up automatically.
I would love to try that. I would love to, so this StreamYard we do each week, I can easily connect it. I know you've talked about this, and I just need to just do it.
Just do it. That's
just
right.
Do it. I need to look at my tattoo to remind me. I've got a reminder, like, just do it. Just do it. But see, the problem is it's on the other side of my arms. I don't see it that often. Like, oh, I need to just do it. Yeah, I would like to. I'm still in Facebook jail for 2 months. Look, there's always a workaround. If there's a roadblock, I have a workaround. So what I've been doing each week is I just take Barb's live of this and I just go share it to so this is on my Facebook right now. I just said, we are live, but I'm sharing hers. There's always a workaround. It's just frustrating that Facebook using AI to go find a keyword they don't like. And then you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, you can't live stream for 2 weeks. It's like, I don't even talk about that on my Facebook. So why am I in trouble for something I don't even really do just because of one word they don't like? So these platforms. And then speaking of AI, not liking things we're all doing with Facebook recently, that humongous AI group, Jonathan Mass AI group, that a year ago was taken down by it was completely taken down by accident due to AI. They got reinstated. They had, I think at the time, 300,000 users on this AI group. And now, what was it, a week or two ago, this guy couldn't get, is he at 500,000 now? Like, it's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't get access to go into his own group that he runs and owns and controls. And Facebook wouldn't even help him. Meta wouldn't even, it's like, so I know he has a community, his community also on a separate platform. It's not Circle or School. It's I don't remember the name. Do you know the name of the gym? I'm in it, but I just don't ever really go over there.
Oh.
I forgot what it's called, but he's trying to get more people. I think it has like maybe 10,000 people over there. He's trying to get more people over there, which is definitely, a year ago when this happened to him on Facebook, I was saying, y'all, if you got to be on these other platforms, like don't let the control of your huge group be on Facebook.
Right.
Because they do wacky things. He didn't do anything to get in trouble.
Right.
first time it was AI made a mistake and took down a bunch of AI. AI took out a lot of AI related Facebook groups. That was a nightmare for all of them, large groups. And now this time around, I'm sure AI did it. And you have the Meta people telling him, I think they were saying like there's nothing wrong with your with like it wasn't like verifying him, like some kind of verification problem. And Facebook couldn't figure out what was wrong.
Weird.
It's bizarre. So it's just a reminder, whether you have a big community or a small community or something in between, don't give the control to these platforms that have too much control.
Mm-hmm.
Not worth it. Not worth it. That's why I pay for school. It's so worth it. I have 3 communities there. I know, Christopher, you've got, and Jim, y'all both have communities over there. It is worth it to be over there.
It's better to pay that couple extra bucks to know that you control it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
It would suck people building these communities with 500,000 followers and they've been around for years, and all of a sudden, boop, like, and they didn't even do anything wrong, and you got no recourse. You can't even call anybody, so it sucks.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, free is good. We're used to using Facebook groups. I mean, we always used that for everything. Even when we would do like, the big thing, like 10 years ago, you do an online course, people pay money for it. And then the community aspect was you set up a free Facebook group. So when people paid for your course, you have the Facebook group so people can all chat with each other in there. And it's like, I have so many of those. I wonder if they're still active, but that was just a common thing because there were no other platforms to do things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like we have options. If you can't pay $9 a month to control your own community, then I don't know what to tell you.
I really think it takes the combination of school and Substack these days to because of the way that Substack in reaching the audience and so forth. I really do like that. I have not been, I signed on, I follow Rachel and she has so much great stuff, but I mean, I am one of those that spent over 90% of my time on Facebook. I've been in their beta groups. I've been, I'm in their, they have this top group for all their top leaders on the platform and so forth. They've just totally trashed it since the first of the year. And it's the saddest thing because, it's all about connecting with people. And I don't mean connecting with AI, I mean with the real people. And it is very discouraging right now. And I just, I don't know, folks. You should stay tuned. It's changing every week.
It really is. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Christopher, thank you for coming on and being our special guest and sharing your thoughts on the new ChatGPT feature. And we'll see y'all soon, okay?
Yeah, we'll talk about it again soon. I'm going to start testing stuff out.
Me too. I'm going to go to town with this. See y'all later.